Happening now, wildfires continue to burn across Colorado, including in Pueblo and Custer counties, where the Aspen Acres Fire is still growing. The fire has now burned more than 100,000 acres, though crews are slowly getting a handle on things. The last time we checked, it was 61% contained, up from 48% on Friday. Evacuation orders are still in place for some areas in Huerfano, Pueblo, and Custer counties. Now, evacuation orders are still in place in Lake County as well, where the Willow Fire is burning. More than 580 personnel are battling that fire, which has now burned nearly 7,000 acres. It is 37% contained, just up by 1% over yesterday. Now, crews are also working to contain the Gold Mountain Fire burning in Ouray, Gunnison, and Montrose counties. That fire has grown to nearly 38,000 acres and remains only 13% contained. Some evacuation orders from the fire have been lifted, though a few remain in place for parts of Ouray and Gunnison counties. Now, we're going to continue to track those fires, but for now, let's take a look outside actually right now at the skyline, a gorgeous view right there. But we're going to bring in our own 9 News meteorologist, Corey Reppenhagen, for a closer look at exactly how things are shaping up outside. It's sizzling out there right now.
Oh man, it is hotter than Satan's ghost pepper jam out there today. 93 was the high temperature here in Denver. Some really big temperatures all across the state. Lots of us in the 90s. It's still 94 degrees right here at the 9 News studios, 93 out at Denver International Airport. And the heat is just continuing on for a few more days, and we could see our hottest days of the summer coming up in the next couple of days. So today was number 16, 90-degree days. Only 2 days this month have not hit 90, and those were both 89. So we're at 27. We're on pace to beat the average easy, but hopefully we don't get anywhere near that record set back in 2020. Can you imagine 75, 90-degree days? It's insane. We've also had some pretty good monsoon rain, so it's almost like we have two different weather patterns, hot and dry out here toward the east, and we have some monsoon showers putting down some very heavy rain. We do have some flash flood warnings up in the old Lee bird scar from last year. Also, just to the south of that, we had some pretty good flooding in the Telluride area again today. Here's the forecast tomorrow. 99 in Denver. The potential is there for hundreds, so we have a 9 News weather impact alert for you just to draw your attention to the possibility for extreme heat the next couple of days. 100 possible on Monday, and then not only do the temperatures drop, but we could also add some rain to the forecast coming up next week. That's coming up in the full forecast just a few minutes. Shalima.
All right, thanks so much for that, Corey. We're going to check back in with you a little later on. Well, as crews continue to fight against the growing Aspen Acres Fire, officials are facing another concern beyond the flames and embers: unauthorized drones. An update from the Northern Rockies Incident Management Team says a drone was flown into restricted airspace, and that forced aircraft helping with the firefight to stand down temporarily. They are appealing to the public to keep drones grounded. They say it's not only dangerous, it's also a federal offense, and if you fly, they cannot. A woman shot outside an Immigration and Customs Enforcement Processing Center has a message for the man accused of pulling the trigger. An employee of Geo Group, which operates the Aurora Center, remained behind bars today. Now, according to Aurora police, Brandon Booth is accused of firing in the direction of 2 protesters on Thursday evening. Emma Landis suffered a gunshot wound to her right foot. In an interview with 9 News, she shared her thoughts about the man who shot her.
I guess I would just say I don't accept your apologies. I don't accept, I hope you get what you deserve. I hope you, deal with the precautions and the consequences of this. And I hope you heal from whatever is making you willing enough to do all this.
Now, Booth is being held on $500,000 bail. He is due in court for the filing of formal charges. Kevin Vaughn from 9 News Investigates. We'll have much more of this interview with Landis on 9 News at 9 and 10 o'clock. Well, this Monday, July 20th, marks 14 years since the Aurora Theater shooting. 13 people were killed that night and many more were injured. In honor of those now living with a lifetime of recovery, a blood drive is taking place to help patients across the state in need. Earlier this morning, we spoke to one of the donors who is also a survivor.
Blood gets recreated in your body. So what better way to help people who need it is to give, and you're literally giving life.
Now, the blood drive takes place this Monday between 1:45 p.m. and 6 p.m. Registration is required. Well, right now, Littleton police are investigating a deadly crash involving a bike and a car. They say early this morning a vehicle hit a bike carrying two people on West Bowles Avenue. One person who was on the bike was pronounced dead at the scene. The other person was taken to the hospital. Police tell us the driver remained on scene. Well, they are showing up in your neighborhoods all over Colorado. Groups of kids riding electric bikes and dirt bikes through streets, on sidewalks, and in parks. Now, while they may look similar, the law treats many of them very differently. 9 News reporter Evan Krugel explains why knowing the difference between an e-bike and an e-moto matters.
So the thing is, these things are considered motorcycles.
Body cam video from earlier this month shows a Colorado state trooper pulling over an 8-year-old for riding an e-dirt bike down the sidewalk in Salida. The latest in a series of escalating problems law enforcement says it's having with kids on electric machines.
There are versions of these that can go upwards like 60, 70 miles an hour now.
Austin Chipman sells these e-moto bikes, which are designed to be used off-road and on private property.
Kids will bring parents in because they want one, and little do the parents know that, yeah, they are technically all being ridden illegally.
These are powerful, and to ride them on the road, you need a motorcycle license. But Austin says parents don't always realize that.
Yeah, tons of confusion. It's pretty wild.
So what is the difference between an e-motorcycle and an e-bike?
This right here is an e-bike.
Jared Berger sells and services bikes and scooters at Sportique in Denver and says street legal e-bikes are capped at 28 miles per hour and have a battery that's less than 750 watts. Anything above that is likely an e-motorcycle.
And so when you get above 750 watts, those are kind of e-bikes that can go sometimes 30, 40 miles an hour. And no 10-year-old kid should be doing that unless they're on a dirt bike or supervision and things like that.
But rest assured, cool parents, there are still options that are legal.
No cool kid wants to look like they're riding their dad's bike. But a lot of these bikes are really cool.
Jared says as electric bikes become more popular, the best thing parents can do is make sure they know what they're buying before their kid hits the road.
The thing is, when you do your research, stop asking friends on Facebook. Just go look up what are the rules in Colorado for these kind of e-motos and for these e-bikes. There's a lot of good information that you can just find.
In Denver, Evan Krugel, 9 News.
Well, from one mode of transportation to another, RTD is considering budget cuts of up to $62 million that could reshape bus service across the Denver metro area. The same proposals that could eliminate Denver's free mall ride would also cut a number of services in Broomfield. With every scenario, Route 43, Route 228, and 2 flex ride services would be eliminated, but deeper cuts could remove 6 of the 10 services that reach the city. Route 53 was expected to provide transportation to the Grove at Cottonwood, a new housing community for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. The uncertainty comes only weeks before move-in day, and now residents who rely on public transportation may have to come up with other options.
It's a huge consideration because if she doesn't have public transportation, she's basically isolated.
RTD says these are only proposals at this point. The full board is expected to consider the budget plan later this month. While crews are continuing to battle wildfires across several parts of our state, some areas like Telluride are dealing with the aftermath of heavy rainfall. Fire officials posted these photos after finding water and mud surrounding the Palm Theater and school. Multiple mudslides Friday led to the mess. About 3 to 4 feet of standing water and mud built up inside the theater, and several classrooms and hallways saw around 5 to 6 inches of water and mud. Fortunately, no one was hurt. Well, kids will be starting a new school year before they know it, and thousands of them here in Colorado don't have access to the supplies that they need. We are partnering with Mile High United Way for a school supply drive, and we're looking to raise $50,000 to help get kids what they need to succeed in the classroom. The drive runs now through August 2nd. Just scan that QR code that's right there on your screen to donate.